we say that really the types of work available to you in your life are only three. There are three kinds of work, what we call the threefold nature of work. And there's really only three things you can be doing at any point in time in your job as a knowledge worker, at least. And that is defining what your work even is. Guess what? That's a huge part of your job as a knowledge worker is what even is my job? What am I supposed to be focused on? What is optimal right now? There's working from defined work, working on those things that you have set up for yourself, laid out for yourself, or others have input to you. This can include meetings, but it can also include all of those systems that you use to orientate yourself appropriately, right? And if you don't have a lot yet, I strongly recommend the Getting Things Done approach as a comprehensive system to help you know what you need to do. And then there's the third option. Work as it shows up, the undefined stuff, the unplanned stuff. For those of you that mentioned switching, and there's a real cost to switching, don't get me wrong. It really takes some psychic energy to switch between one thing and another. I would suggest or have you consider that maybe what you're doing is what we call multitasking, right? Is not so much switching discretely between states, but keeping a little bit of the previous state in your head as you try and move on to the next thing. This has been shown, the multitasking approach has been shown to lower your functional IQ. Right? So studies have shown your not your permanent IQ, thank goodness, but your available bandwidth, if you like, your available mental space goes down when you're constantly trying to juggle everything at once. And so awareness here can begin to be a curative element. It's called, what do I need to do right now? Do I need to process some emails into my system so that I have more defined work? Do I need to do a brainstorm? Do I need to create some structure in my life? Or is it time to go to those lists, those structured things, to work from what I've already defined, to knock stuff out, to have some success and some wins? Or is that interruption truly the right one to focus on right now? Interruptions aren't necessarily bad. Surprises can be a wonderful, good thing. Game-changing new input needs to be dealt with appropriately. But for so many of us, what we've done, and what I see out there all the time, is that by not doing enough defining of what your work is, or not doing it to the level and degree and the structured approach that GTD presents, you don't have, at least not a comprehensive, certainly inventory of well-defined work. It's not all there. It's not all available to you. There's not a menu where someone can say, hey, here's all your options. Now all you have to do is apply the skill of your job to any one of these options, and you'll be doing the right thing. So undefined stuff always looks like the right move. We call it latest and loudest, and it will run you around and it will run you ragged, right? It's the interruptions, the pings from the colleagues, the stuff going on in your personal life. Not having a really good inventory of what all your options are means that usually whatever shows up, latest and loudest, looks like the right thing to do. The problem with that is this is where stress lies. This is where your ulcers happen. This is where burnout eventually shows up and manifests. So just becoming aware of this, that you are in one of these three states at any point in time, and beginning to give appropriate attention, and beginning to look at, hey, am I optimized in how I relate to these three states day to day, or could I use some adjusting of the balance of these three types of things? That alone will start to get you into a much more ready state, right? Again, coming back to that ready state, coming back to, okay, now what do I need?